Okay, Summit Point Raceway, heading out onto the racetrack. Leaving pit lane, we're going to stay on driver's right of the front straightaway, long front straightaway. As you work your way down about these access roads on driver's right, we're going to transition over to driver's left to get ready for turn 1. Turn 1's a hard brake zone, lots of downshifts, usually top gear down to second gear in most cars, maybe third depending on the car and the power. Hash marks are a good reference for brake points. Start working our way in. Should be able to get into about the 3 cones of that third hash mark. Turn-in point on the left where this access road peels away. Get your eyes into the right, looking for an apex just about the middle of this curbing on driver's right. Pavement change is a good reference to help lead you in. There's a patch that was laid in here. That's a good reference. Start to unwind the hands as we squeeze to power tracking out to driver's left. Exiting turn 1, heading for turn 2, which is really just a little kink in the road up here. Full power by this point. Going to set up on driver's right for turn 3. Okay, approaching turn 3. Fast corner to the left. It's uphill, it climbs, it's got a lot of grip on the way in. We want to get the brake off fairly early, so brake on about this first access road. Turn-in point is just before we reach the second access road, so brake zone in this area here. Eyes into the apex on the curb on driver's left, about halfway up that curb. Once again, grip gets better as we head to track out because it does climb quite a bit. Take advantage of that, but beware of the plateau at the top. When you get to the top of the hill, it does plateau. Got rough gravel or asphalt over here on the right. On the other side of the curb, be sure to use all the curb. Transition to the left side of the road as we get to the crest of the hill. We'll start going downhill steeply to turn 4. Fast right-hander, a lot of compression at the apex, just a breathe of the throttle, back to power to balance. Take advantage of the compression right in here at the midpoint of the apex on the curb. Hustle over to driver's left, or I should say let the car over to driver's left. Maybe get it back to the white line and a hard brake for turn 5. Much slower than it looks. Don't get caught out. Bring it into the apex here on driver's left. Unwinding the hands, opening up, adding power, squeezing throttle. As we head back to the right, hard brake for 6, off brake, apex right about here in the middle of that curb. Start getting your eyes over to the curbing on driver's left to set up for turn 7. This is the carousel, 6 and 7 carousel. Apex just about the last third of the curb for 7. As we're adding power, going to apex on the left for 8. This is all section you can continue to add power. Turn-in point for 9 just after we leave that access road on driver's left. Looking for an apex on the right, right about the middle of the apex curb there. Unwinding the hands, this does climb uphill quite a bit to the exit of turn 9. Back to power. Setting up on this long, medium length straightaway, I should say. Approaching turn 10. Most important car on the racetrack, fastest corner, and leads onto the front straight. Just under the bridge, just to the left of that white line. We've got some rough patches here to sort of help with turn-in. Brake is on early, off brake, eyes to the apex. Turn 10 climbs as well. A lot of good grip gain here as it tracks out, all the way out. On the curb, there is pavement on the other side of that curb, a little bit rough, but it's usable if need be. Front straightaway, all the way down the front straight. We're going to move into the roll bar view now for a different perspective as we head down to turn 1. Okay, approaching turn 1. Once again, we got the cones here on the left that help define our brake zone. Brake is on. Now, through the gears, downshift. Once again, turn-in point just as that road leaves. Eyes to the right, looking for an apex over here on the right-hand side. Once we apex, feed in power, unwind steering. Be sure to use all the racetrack if need be to the left. Don't bind the car up. Just keep unwinding that wheel. If you need to go over the white line, you can. Full power on exit. Approaching driver's right. Setting up for turn 3. Got a little asphalt to help you lead into where the access roads are. Brake on, point a little before. Off brake as we get ready to turn right about the beginning, just before the beginning, into the left, looking for the apex here as we climb turn 3. Looking for a track out point up here at the top. Once again, use the curbing. Be careful of going over the curbing. Approaching the crest of the hill on the left side of the road as we get ready to head down the hill, pretty steeply downhill into turn 4. Fast corner, breathe through the throttle, back to power to balance, keep the car stable, apex right in the middle of the curb, track out all the way to driver's left, hustle back toward the right side. If you can get to the white line, great. If you can't, but hard brake, get it slowed down, looking for an apex on the left side in here. Back to power. This is usually second gear in most cars. Over the white line, back to driver's left for turn 6. Brake again, keeping the same gear. Apex on the right, about there. Unwinding to the left. Setting up along the curb on driver's left as we look right into the apex for turn 7. Going to catch mid to end of this curb as we hustle back to the left, looking for the very last bit of the curb for turn 8. And this access road is our reference for turn in for 9. Get your eyes up, start looking at that curve. When we leave that road, it's time to go to the apex for 9. This is all one progressive squeeze of the throttle. Most cars, a lot of cars, can be done flat out. Tracking out all the way driver's left on the curb here as we climb the hill through 9, approaching the medium straightaway for before turn 10. Pass under the bridge just to the left of the dotted white line as we set up for 10. Not a lot of brake reference here, so some rough patches in the grass you can use. Eyes in. There's some marks here in the pavement you can use. Pretty tough to see. Into that apex curb on the right, just about the midpoint of it. Once again, climbing on the way to the exit, so that's an increase in grip. That helps. Use all the curbing on driver's left as need be. Okay, picking up the pace a little bit. Heading down the front straightaway now. Relax, breathe, fingertips, eyes in front. Check mirrors, long straightaway. A lot of time to think about this brake zone. Remember, it's a long brake zone. Asphalt begins on the left, pick a hash mark, brake on, start slowing it down. Eyes into the apex, looking in here, Transition off, brake, back to power, tracking out all the way to the left side, open the wheel. Set up full throttle coming out. Approaching turn 3, brake point just about the beginning of this access road, brake on, off brake, back to power, turn in, squeeze throttle, climb the hill, full throttle at the exit. Set up on the left side of the road over here as we get ready for the chute. Down the hill, little breathe of the throttle, looking for the apex here. Let it track out to driver's left over here, brake is on hard. Into turn 5. Catch the middle of the apex curb, let it track just driver's right over the white line, hustle back to the left for turn 6, apex here. Unwind the wheel, let it track out all along this curb, set up for 7, your eyes are in here, into that apex curb. Hustle back to the left for 8, continuing to add power up through the gears, turn 9 on the right. Tracking out to driver's left, full throttle. Approaching turn 10. Once again, looking for your reference. Little brake on, off brake, give me power. Onto the apex curb, let it track out all the way, use all that road. Alright, gonna go down inside the cockpit with the driver. Long front straightaway, lots of time to think about brake zone, get ready for hard braking. Here come the cones, 5, 4, 3, brake is on. Eyes are in, down to second gear, depending on the car, into the apex curb. Let it track out, open that wheel, unwind. Looking for a little kink here on the right for turn 2. Setting up on the right hand side for 3. Access road comes up, brake on point, turn in before we get to the first one, eyes left, up the hill. All the way up. Let it track out. Setting up on driver's left for turn 4. Down the hill into the chute. Apex in the middle of the curb. Let it track driver's left. Hard on the brake. Down to second. Eyes in. Off brake. Gentle power. Squeeze to throttle. Hustle over to the left side. Brake again. Hustle back to the right. This is the carousel. Start to unwind all the way out. Looking for the apex over here in 7. Just about the end of the curb. Hustle back to the left for 8. Apex in 9 on the right. And we'll look for pit lane this time. Heading into pit lane. Pit lane shows up on driver's right just after the bridge. Get it slowed down nice and easy. Work your way in. It is fairly tight. So at least 35 miles an hour. And that's Summit Point. Good perspective.